Welcome to Listen by Gene Ginsberg. This audio experience and podcast is all about social media, digital marketing, entrepreneurship, and interviews with top entrepreneurs in the digital and social space. I am your host, Gene Ginsberg, digital marketing expert, #1 best-selling author, and award-winning entrepreneur. I will be sharing with you strategies, tips, and tactics on how to grow your business and your social media following. Thanks for listening. Hey, Gene Ginsberg here. Glad you are here with me today and listening to this episode. I'm very excited, and today I wanted to talk more about entrepreneurship versus my typical topics of digital marketing and social media. Now, of course, those topics are very important. Tactics and strategies are very important when it comes to growing your business. I will not dispute that. But what I have found is that most entrepreneurs are focusing on the strategies and tactics, the marketing, the digital, the social, but not very much focusing on their mindset. And I have encountered and spoken to and worked with over 1,000 entrepreneurs at this point in my business. My business is 7 years old. It actually just turned 7. And I have found that most individuals, most business owners are not focusing on their mindset. And that is a critical point and a critical paradigm shift to experience growth. And I can kind of take a step back here because most of us have come from the corporate world. Most of us probably didn't grow up in a very affluent society or a very affluent community. Some of us might have. I certainly did not. I can certainly relate to that. My parents didn't have a lot of money growing up, and so we have this mindset growing up, in a maybe middle class community, and just going to middle class school and living in a middle class neighborhood. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing. But typically our mindsets are around that middle class. They're not about abundance. They're not about massive amounts of growth. They are just about, getting a job, getting by, going to the corporate world. That's just how we were taught from, our generation of parents. Entrepreneurship wasn't big for our parents' generations. And so the mindset that they had was one that they passed along to us. And we, of course, took up that mindset and have now living with it and now moving forward with it. But it's not really the mindset of wealth. It's not really the mindset of abundance. And so a lot of times we have a scarcity mindset. And believe me, I will admit to the fact that I used to do that. And I used to have that myself because that's how I grew up, right? My parents didn't have a lot of money. We were middle class. And according to my parents, they were like, hey, get a job, have a steady paycheck, have a steady income, don't rock the boat, just get things done and, live the middle class life. I think for our parents' generation, that was the dream. For our generation, our dreams are much bigger. And so we can't necessarily equate our mindset or where we want to be with our parents' mindsets or our parents' generation's mindsets. So, it was just, we didn't grow up with that. And so it's time to change. It's time to make changes to our mindset. And I wanted to share a little story with you as how it illustrates how the change in my mindset has occurred. And I, of course, invite you to change your mindset about abundance and scarcity, abundance versus scarcity. This podcast is brought to you by the Digital Marketing Method monthly group coaching program, your methodology for growing your business and your social media following. Join me and my group of supportive entrepreneurs and learn how you can grow your business and your social media following, where we cover topics such as Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, email marketing, and so much more. Go to dmgroup.online, dmgroup.online. So very recently, just a couple of days ago, I bought some land up in the mountains of Colorado. Now, I live in Denver. It's been my dream to buy and build a house in the mountains of Colorado for the last couple of years. That's been my dream. And so finally, I found a piece of land that I really liked. It was the right price. And just one thing to keep in mind. So I bought this land with cash. I did not buy it on through financing or through a mortgage. I bought the land in cash. And so at one point, I had to transfer and wire the title company tens of thousands of dollars to cover the land, because like I said, I bought it via cash and not via financing. So out of my savings account went, tens of thousands of dollars to cover the payment for the land. And I started thinking about this, and I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. This is like a big chunk of my savings that I've been putting away for the last several years. And now it's all, I'm very excited about the land and I'm very excited about building a house, but at the same time, it was like, oh, that's a big chunk of change. So this kind of scarcity mindset started to brush up against me, but I decided, no, this is not the way I'm actually viewing things. It was a scary thought for a second, but then I decided, no, we have to think about it in terms of abundance. Like, first of all, I'm deploying my capital and I'm following my dreams, and my dream has been to buy land in the mountains of Colorado. So that's definitely the positive thing. But also, I thought to myself, this isn't just like, oh, I got rid of a bunch of money, and now I have to figure out how am I going to get it back. Well, yes, I do need to figure that part out. But the thing that I thought about was, it's not like, oh, like I'm never going to get this money back. Like, I believe in myself enough, and I believe in my abilities, and I believe in my capabilities to know that, yeah, I might have spent tens of thousands of dollars on land in the mountains of Colorado, but I have no problem earning that money back. And that's how billionaires and millionaires think. Like, they don't think like, oh, I just spent a bunch of money and where am I going to get the money to replace that? Well, they think like, oh, this is no problem. I'm spending money because that's part of just consumerism and part of deploying your capital, but it's no problem for me to get more. Like, it's it's infinite amounts of money out there, and there's always opportunities to get more. So I encourage you to think about this, and where is your mindset now? Are you still thinking in the scarcity mindset framework? And like I said, most of our parents were like that, and so they passed that mindset on to us. So where are you now in your mindset, and how can you change it? And I invite you to think about that and how you can change the paradigm shift in what you're thinking and how you could create a more abundant lifestyle for yourself. So thanks so much for listening, everybody. I encourage you to think about your mindset and how to change it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.